One late night, after a drunken revelry, I silently slid into my bed and got a sudden urge to pee. As I opened the bathroom door, the light came on by itself. I got scared and returned to bed, but unable to control the urge, I ventured forth again. The light came on again and scared me back. Finally unable to control myself, I closed my eyes, opened the door, and peed from the threshold. The next day, I was relating this incident to my wife about the ghost in the bathroom, and noticed her getting furious. She yelled at me, "You idiot, did you know how long it took me to clean the fridge?" I went to a public bathroom and saw a guy with no arms standing at the urinal. After a few seconds of waiting my turn, I realized that nothing was happening. He was just standing there, looking down. Everything alright?" I asked him. "Yeah, just got a slight problem here," he said, nodding towards his zipper. I guess it's the humanitarian in me that made me speak up. "Can I give you a hand?" I reluctantly asked. "I'd appreciate it." So I unzipped him and pulled him out. Once I did, I was immediately repulsed. His business was covered in an oozing rash. I kept my poker face while I aimed him at the urinal. Afterward, I put his business back behind the curtain and zipped him up. "Thanks, man," he said. I immediately went to the sink to wash up. But I had to know what was up with his. "Not that it's my business, but what's up with your junk, bro?" He pulled his hidden arms out of his jacket and headed for the door. "Yeah, I sure don't know, but I didn't want to touch it." Jim and Edna are both mental patients. One day, Jim jumps into the swimming pool but doesn't come up for air. Quick as a flash, Edna sees her friend in trouble, so she dives in and pulls him out. Later, the hospital director calls Edna into his office and says, "Edna, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, we are releasing you because you are obviously sane and saving another's life. But unfortunately, the bad news is that Jim in the bathroom." "Oh no," Edna replies, "that's where I put him to dry." A drunk gets up from the bar and heads for the bathroom. A few minutes later, a loud, curdling scream is heard from the bathroom. Then nothing. But after another minute or two, another loud scream reverberates through the bar. The bartender goes into the bathroom to investigate why the drunk is screaming. "What's all the screaming about in there?" he yells. "You're scaring my customers. I'm just sitting here on the toilet minding my own business," slurs the drunk. "And every time I flush, something comes up and squeezes the hell out of my." The bartender opens the door, looks in, and says, "You're sitting on the mop bucket." One day Bill complained to his friend that his elbow really hurt. His friend suggested that he go to a computer at the drugstore that can diagnose anything quicker and cheaper than a doctor. "Simply put in a sample of your urine and the computer will diagnose your problem and tell you what you can do about it. It only costs $10. Bill figured he had nothing to lose, so he filled a jar with a urine sample and went to the drugstore. Finding the computer, he poured in the sample and deposited the $10. The computer started making some noise and various lights started flashing. After a brief pause, out popped a small slip of paper on which was printed, "You have a tennis elbow. Soak your arm in warm water. Avoid heavy lifting. It will be better in 2 weeks." Later that evening, while thinking about how amazing this new technology was and how it would change medical science forever, he began to wonder if this machine could be fooled. He mixed together some tap water, a stool sample from his dog, and urine samples from his wife and daughter. To top it off, he made it into the concoction. He went back to the drugstore, located the machine, poured in the sample, and deposited the $10. The computer again made the usual noise and printed out the following message: "Your tap water is too hard. Get a water softener. Your dog has worms. Get him vitamins. Your daughter is using cocaine. Put her in a rehabilitation clinic. Your wife is pregnant with twin girls. They aren't yours. Get a lawyer. And if you don't stop off, your tennis elbow will never get better." A young programmer and his project manager board a train headed through the mountains on its way to Wichita. They can find no place to sit except for 2 seats right across the aisle from a young woman and her grandmother. After a while, it is obvious that the young woman and the young programmer are interested in each other because they are giving each other looks. Soon the train passes into a tunnel, and it turns black. There is the sound of a kiss, followed by the sound of a slap. When the train emerges from the tunnel, the 4 sit there without saying a word. The grandmother is thinking to herself, "It was very brash for that young man to kiss my granddaughter, but I'm glad she slapped him." The project manager is sitting there thinking, "I didn't know the young tech was brave enough to kiss the girl, but I sure wish she hadn't missed him when she slapped me." The young woman was sitting and thinking, "I'm glad the guy kissed me, but I wish my grandmother had not slapped him." The young programmer sat there with a satisfied smile on his face. He thought to himself, "Life is good. How often does a guy have the chance to kiss a beautiful girl and slap his project manager all at the same time?" "Daddy, how was I born?" "Ah, very well, one day you need to find out anyway." Mom and Dad got together in a chat room. Dad set up a date via email with your mom, and we met at a cyber cafe. We snuck into a secluded room, and then your mother downloaded from your dad's memory stick. As soon as Dad was ready for an upload, it was discovered that neither one of us had used a firewall. Since it was too late to hit the delete button, 9 months later, the blessed virus appeared. And that's the story. A help desk guy speaking to a lady user. Help desk, double-click on my computer. Lady, I can't see your computer. Help desk, no, click on my computer, on your computer. Lady, how the hell can I click on your computer from my computer? Help desk, there is an icon labeled my computer, on your computer. Double-click on it. Lady, what the hell is your computer doing on my computer? Dave took Mary out for a romantic dinner, where the conversation turned to the subject of marriage. Dave had been saving for an engagement ring, but he was in graduate school and in dire need of a new computer. Mary was understanding, telling Dave they had the rest of their lives to get engaged, so he should use his savings to buy a computer instead. During dessert, Dave suddenly reached into his pocket and pulled out an engagement ring. Mary was stunned, but after she collected herself, she looked up and prompted, "Well, don't you have something to ask me?" Dave then got down on a bent knee. "Honey," he said, "will you buy me a new computer?"